the next person that we have on the agenda. The next race is Senate District 63. Here today is Zaynab Mohamed. She is running for Senate District 63. And Zaynab, if you would unmute and give an introduction for yourself.
Yes, hi everybody. I hope you can all hear me. I am Zaynab Mohamed. I'm running for State Senate here in District 63. And I know a number of people who are part of DSA are also constituents of 63. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. And I'm running because we are in a moment where our current Senator Patricio Torres is no longer running. And so it's a moment where we can take advantage of and get somebody in who is part of the community, who has lived in the district for a long time, but also understands the issues that we need to get across the aisle for working class folks, for a multiracial people across the board. And so I'm excited to be running. If elected, I will be the first Black woman, which is sad that we haven't done this yet in a state that says we're incredibly progressive. We have yet to have elected a Black woman, and Patricia was the first Latina woman elected, and the Senate district did that, and we have an opportunity to do that here. I'm excited to be stepping into this role and to serve my community at a higher capacity, more than I already have. And I'm hoping to get DSA's endorsement because the endorsement will be able to help me build coalitions amongst our constituents in the work that we're able to do, whether that's fully funding public schools or passing the Minnesota healthcare plan that Dawson talked about earlier, or fully funding our childcare systems and other issues that the constituents of SD 63 really care about. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I've lived in the district for just a heads up, I never write speech when it comes to talking about myself, just because I've just come to realize I'm just really better at speaking from the heart, and I'm somebody who just can't read something that's a piece of paper. And so I'm just speaking to you as myself, and I've lived in the district the majority of my life. My family have immigrated here about 15 years ago, and some of the issues that I am running on are things that I have as a constituent talked about with legislators who have served here in the past, and it's things that are near and dear in my heart, and just excited to get to know all of you and to hear your questions and hopefully earn the endorsement.
Thank you for joining us here today. So the first question that we have submitted is, what is your general theory of how change happens? And if elected, what would you like your relationship with Twin Cities DSA to be?
Yeah, I think change happens when we are ready to take a look at things from a different perspective, and a perspective that is often that we haven't experienced ourselves, right? And so part of that is telling your personal story, your lived experience, and understanding where the other individuals are coming from. The relationship I want with DSA, if elected or not elected, is pushing for issues that will affect working class folks, and having a partnership that is collaborative, where they get to be a part of the policy table, but also help me push for it on the outside as well as the inside.
Thank you. The next question, how would you describe your politics, and in particular your relation to the DFL, and how do you envision your relation to future DFL leadership in the Senate?
I come from community organizing. Most of my politics are rooted in community, and part of that is working in the DFL, because often the party runs on issues that affect my community or communities that look like myself. And so my relationship to it is that I have helped current elected officials who ran on the party, and part of being a part of the party is pushing everyone on the party to do the right thing, to work on things that affect all of us, and not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And the relationship I expect, if elected, from the leadership is holding them accountable to leading on the things that we will be talking about on the campaign trail next year. and not just standing on the sidelines of politics.
The next question we have, considering the opposition both outside of and inside of the DFL, how will you advance the Minnesota healthcare plan?
Everyone cares about healthcare. I think the past 3 years have showed everyone in Minnesota that health is really important and that it shouldn't be dependent on the jobs that we have or how much income we make. I think for me, I will work across the aisle, and that to me is working with people who don't necessarily see me as a human being based on my race or my faith or my background, but care about healthcare, and working with Republicans and Democrats both and independents, and ensuring that healthcare is fundamentally a human right and something that should not depend on money.
Thanks. The next question that we have, if elected, how will you maintain accountability to the movement and your constituents and use your influence and power to those ends?
That's a really good question. I'm somebody who have the past few years held people who are in positions of power, their feet to the fire. For me, because I'm somebody who comes from movement spaces, and to me that is like the past few years and the work I have done, that the reason why I have been doing the work I've been doing, it's because it's personal. And I understand the effects that legislators and people who are elected and the power they have to be able to change people's lives. And so because I come from movement spaces, I expect the movement to hold me accountable. And for me to just be a regular person who continues to be a part of the movement, because I feel most at home in there than I do in politics.
Great. And then the last question, would you be in support of or would you propose a bill that ends cash bail?
So currently, the past year and a half, I have been doing a national fellowship, which is the focus is to eliminate the cash bail system, same way that states like Illinois have done. And Minnesota, actually, we have created a work group that is led by Black women who have experienced the effects of cash bail, just themselves or people who they've been surrounded, or like their sons and stuff. And so that's the work I'm leading on this next session at the Senate level. And I know that Senator Omar Fateh is going to be a part of that work. And we will also be doing that work at the county level. And so if not, hopefully eliminated this year, it will be one of the highlights of my work if elected.
All right. That is the last question that we had. Zaynab, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much.